up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Petersburg, and guess what? I have something that's got a retro look to it, and it's this vehicle right here. This is it. This is a 2025 Land Rover Defender 110S. But before we get into this, Tasman Blue, that's the name of that heritage color with the white roof, let's talk about what's going on here. So the Defender, it really has been that one vehicle from Land Rover that really laid down the legendary status that it has today. And it's funny because the Defender wasn't always available here in the United States. Now, when you hear the number 110, that is going to be the four-door version. A Defender 90 is the shorter wheelbase two-door version. And then, of course, you could go Defender 130, which is even more ginormous. Now, with this 110S, they're kind of blending some heritage to it, but they're also trying to keep it at a certain price point. Now, I'm gonna try not to use the word value because obviously, once we get to this level of price point, things are pretty expensive, but they're trying to keep it within a certain price range to make it more palatable for many people out there. So what I want to find out is, if you're looking for an SUV that has that off-road credibility, but yet also has a lot of nice luxurious touches on the interior, plus on top of that, you want something with a little bit of heritage, let's go ahead, let's dive into this 2025 Defender 110S and see if it's the one that checks off all the boxes. Right off the bat, like I said, the color combo fits it to a T. Now, the front of the business, when they came out with this generation of the Defender, I really think that they nailed it. They nailed that retro, modern spin on a classic design. So you're gonna have that rectangle shaped headlight housing with your LED daytime running lamps, LED headlights, and turn signals. I like the way that they inset the headlight within the front corner here rather than have it flush. Now, working our way down, you have this nice aluminum style finish, LED fog lamps, and functional air curtains. Very large functional air curtains. And I even like the way they flare out that fender. It gives it a nice aggressive look. Now, I know a lot of people are probably wondering, well, Joe, if this thing is off-road capable, why are they putting gloss black? You're gonna have to call up Land Rover. That's what they do with a lot of their different models. So you have the gloss black on the bottom with the Tasman Blue. But like I said, I think the color really fits the attitude, especially with the amount of silver that we have on the lower portion. Now, as we come across that unmistakable front end design of a Defender, you're gonna have that Land Rover badge with the British Racing green, the metallic silver, body color as we work our way down. I like the way they drop the forward-facing camera within the egg crate flat black grille design. My only zonk for that is I wish I had a washer, especially if somebody is gonna take this off-roading. We have Florida's iconic love bugs. I hate these things. These are the things that they come out 2 times out of the year. And if they get on your paint job, you better clean them off pronto because their guts are actually acidic. Here's a little fun tip. If you're trying to get love bug guts off the front of your vehicle, spray some hydrogen peroxide. Get like a little squirter bottle, put some hydrogen peroxide in there and squirt it on the front of the vehicle. The guts will actually come off a lot easier because it breaks down the proteins in the guts. I know you feel like you're in science class. Here's another little fun fact. If you fill up that squirter bottle with hydrogen peroxide and the bottle is see-through, you might as well get rid of it once you're done squirting, because that's why hydrogen peroxide comes in those brown bottles, is because sunlight will turn it into H2O. How do you like that? I went to school. Now down below, I like the way they sculpt that lower portion and the way that they did the design here. Now this does have that adaptive suspension. It's got well over 9 inches of ground clearance, and I like the way that you can tailor it exactly for if you're driving through the mall parking lot or if you're actually gonna go off-roading. But let me know what you think about the face of this thing. I mean, Even on this side, I like the way that not only is it an air curtain, but you could actually see the heat exchanger in there for all that cooling. Now, as we rise up, you got the Defender name nice and bold with the bright silver letters. I just wish that they would sink these into the hood so that they'd be more flush. That's my only zonk with that. But I love the bulge. You get a mini bulge. And I like the way that they painted Tasman blue all the way up to the cowl there at the bottom of the windshield. It used to be just gloss black, and I felt like that was just a little too much ridiculousness with the gloss black. And if you're wondering, well, what the heck are these things? They're basically there for style. These are supposed to mimic the metal ones that used to be here so that you could jump up on the hood of your older Defender to get access to tying things down on the roof. Now, as we come around that flared fender, very cool retro style steely type wheel. This wheel is actually not a small wheel. It's a 20-inch wheel. I like the way they did the open areas and even the way they covered the lug nuts with that center cap. You do get off-road spec tires, so this isn't just a mall crawler. It does have a 2-speed transfer case. It does have 4x4. And like I said, you got that amazing suspension, but nice to see some Wrangler, Goodyear Wrangler, all-terrain adventure tires. Tires are gonna be 255 on the width. And you got that 60 series sidewall. I don't know, the white with the Tasman blue, I think really makes it work with that cool heritage style. Now I'm gonna have Steven kind of swing in and have him show off the upright, the upper control arm, your suspension bits there. And you'll notice that you do have gloss black around the fender opening. Very, very minuscule, but it is there. And I don't know if I love it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Let me know what you think about the wheels though. Kind of cool. And it's hard to see, but you actually have a nice large 6-piston caliper behind there. It's another nice thing to have some good braking capability. Coming down the side, we have our fully functional fender vent, that egg crate flat black grille with the Defender name. I like the way they bring the black to split up your A-pillar here, and then you're gonna get that flat top roof design with your Safari windows. That's what they call those windows, Safari windows. And I love the cargo platform up there. Not only does it give it that off-road attitude, but that's totally usable. Put everything that you need to go on that crazy drum circle adventure, your drums, your tent, whatever you got, put it up there. And then beat away, little drummer boy. Now, you do have your gloss black on your mirror caps, your LED turn signals, and I do like the way you got the 360-degree cameras. And I'm also digging, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, doesn't that come on a Toyota TRD vehicle? It's the TRD colors, but you know, back in the 70s, TRD didn't really even exist yet. These were the colors that they were using during the 70s and the early 80s, just across the board, a lot of manufacturers. So just because you see these 3 colors, I know you want to think Toyota Racing Development, but they don't have the copyright to the colors. But they bring those colors to give it that old vintage vibe. It's got beach break too, man. Let's go surfing, dude. Hang 10, hang loose. And then you got a bunch of gloss black on the bottom. But to protect the gloss black, look at the massive mud flap. I mean, nothing's getting past that, besides maybe some of the stuff that I already did. Now coming towards the rear, nice large quarter window. I like the way you're able to hang those hard bags off the side. And then remember, these Defenders are rear-wheel drive base, even though they are 4x4. You got your full spare with that steely wheel, off-road Goodyear Wrangler tire. And I'm gonna have Steven just kind of peek around real quick to show you the Defender hard box, what it looks like attached. So you could have one, or you could have 2. Nice to be able to show that to you. And then to get into the cargo area, you do get a beach brake badge. Gotta have a beach brake. Break me off a piece of that beach brake bar. Something like that. Open up the back. Nice swinging door. You get a lot of goodies, man. You get a lot of goodies with this thing. Close it up. I love the way they did the taillights. Full LED, the Defender name. and then working it down, just like up front, you do have tow recovery hooks on the back, also on the front. You got your full tow receiver hookup, and then more of those massive mud flaps. They look like they came off a freaking Defender that was in the Paris-Dakar rally. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering this Defender with a little bit of juice. Let's go find out. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts. Underneath the hood, semi-tasteful engine cover. The good news is, thank God it's there, because this does have the smallest displacement engine out of all the Defenders. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a 2-liter turbocharged inline 4. It produces 296 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds. You could tow up to 7,715 pounds with this thing. MPG, 17 in the city, 20 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs 5,035 pounds. What's cool is you can actually see the turbocharger right there. I do like that. Just being a car person, I love seeing those inner bits that make it go. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and hear if this Land Rover makes any noise. All right, guys, give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of your beach break bar. I don't know, it doesn't have the same feel as a Kit Kat. But anyways, where was I? We're in this Land Rover Defender 110S Special Edition. I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, I like the looks. And you know, I appreciate what you're trying to do with the song and the slogan from Kit Kat. But how much is this Land Rover Defender? Very good question. MSRP for this one, the way it's optioned, is $77,000. Like I said, not chump change, but there's some Broncos. And I'm not even talking about the Bronco Raptor. I'm talking about just 4-door Broncos that cost $70,000. Just saying. So let's see what the Defender brings to the door panels. I love the two-tone. It's actually a tri-tone when you count the exterior Tasman blue. So you have the nice soft touch black material up top. You do have the off-white, not my favorite, but I love the way it looks. And then I love all those exposed bolts that they have and screws. No gloss black. You got the Meridian premium sound system and a door pocket large enough to where you could get 3 Jersey Mike subs in there and tell them to dump a whole bottle of Italian dressing all over it. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, you got your oh crap handle for your passenger. Soft touch. I like the way it's got the Defender name. You could put another sub here, or you could put a baker's dozen of Twinkies, USB-C, and then you have your 11.4-inch Pivi Pro system. All touchscreen, of course. It's actually quite useful the way that they have it set up, and as you can see, the interactions are pretty quick with it. So you could go into your vehicle dimensions, kind of cool to see, measure it out, compare your friends. Is your friend's larger? Is yours larger? Whose SUV is larger? You got your 4x4. Very, very cool to have all that. Now I'm going to throw it into reverse. Backup camera could be a little larger. I mean, come on. We got all this dead space here. But then you have options for what you're doing. On-road, towing, off-road. Just a little small on the image. So that would be my only zonk with that. And then that's where we started. I can bring up the navigation. Down below, you do have a real volume knob. And then these seem tricky, but it's not that big of a deal. So what you're going to do is you could actually do ventilated seats or heated seats, depending on which way you spin. And then it's also your blower fan, which is cool. Or it's also your temperature, which is cool as well. So you can make those adjustments very easily. This is, whoa, too much breeze for the microphone. This is going to control your 8-speed automatic transmission. Nice pistol grip. You thought Dodge was the only one that had a pistol grip. This is a British pistol grip. And then you got a nice little place to put your fool's gold. I remember when I was a kid, my grandmother gave me a piece of pyrite. She didn't tell me what it was. And my whole life, I thought it was gold. I thought I was going to be able to just cash in and buy an island somewhere in the Caribbean. But then I found out that it was pyrite. It's fool's gold. Let you know what my grandmother thought of me. Oh well. Down below, you got a place for a purse, a merce, a sack, a satchel, a compass, maybe a small little telescope. You got a 12 volt. Anything else over here? Yep, USB-Cs. Look at that. I felt with my hands rather than seeing with my eyes. This is kind of cool. It opens up so you have easy access. Boom. Get a nice bag of chips right there. Remember that saying from the 90s? She's all that in a bag of chips. That's what I think of Lori. I don't think about that with Steven. Steven's a half a bag of chips. So, Land Rover key fob. Flip it around. There's your buttons on the back. You do have wireless charging. Then you got the soft touch, the stitching. Open it up. You got enough room in there to where you could put, I would say, you could fill that up with about 2 bags of popcorn shrimp from a Red Lobster and maybe some cheddar biscuits. I remember when people were going crazy for cheddar biscuits. Now I feel like people don't care anymore. Oh well. Seats, the nice soft material, the perforations, full electric assist for the passenger, full electric assist for the driver. I know normally I don't like light headliners, but it works in here. And then you got that massive panoramic sunroof. Look how big that is. That's what she said. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Defender. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have 3 memory seat settings for the driver's seat. I do like the aluminum sill plate with the Defender name that lights up. There's all your seat controls, easy to get to. I'm 6 feet tall. With the boxy style, you got plenty of room. Steering wheel, the leather, the thumb controls. This is a power tilting and telescoping wheel. You got a place to put a Sprinkles cupcake. Boop. Pop it right in there. And then you got that beautiful 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, all the readouts, all the modes, and everything in between. The only thing that this is missing, I'm surprised it doesn't have a head-up display for 77 Gs. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the back seat, see if your passenger is going to be happy that you went Defender. All right, guys, back seat time, and you got plenty of room back here because this is a 2-row. It's nice to have that extra room. You'll notice the Safari windows up top. I love that on both sides. Nice large pockets. You could put some elk and bison jerky back here. Right now, that's what Steven's been munching on, is some elk jerky. Then you got your AC vents, 2 USB-Cs, and a place that you could put your Jolly Ranchers. You know what I miss? I miss the days when Jolly Ranchers used to be those thin sticks. They used to be like 5 cents a piece at 7-Eleven. Now they're the little candies, which I guess is cool, but I like the stick better. I don't know. What's funny is I used to sell them at school for $0.25. I'd buy them for $0.05, sell them for $0.25. Entrepreneur. Sitting here, feels good, seats are comfy. Let's pull this bad boy down. Ooh, like a marshmallow. 2 cup holders. And seats look just as good as up front. But why don't we get in that cargo area? Because I want to take you for a little spin in this Defender. All right, guys, cargo area time. Like I showed you earlier, it's got that swing style rear door. You're going to be greeted to 36.2 cubic feet of space. Fold down the rear seat, you're going to get almost 70 cubic feet of space. What I love about this 110S is that you have your built-in air pump, air compressor, so you can air up and air down your tires. And then on the right-hand side, which is the passenger side, you do have a home power source. This is Steven's bag that he takes to the gym. He puts his protein shakes and supplements and everything in there, and then it magnetizes to the equipment. He says that is the way to do it when you're at the gym because you don't want to get germs. Believe it or not, gyms, they discovered, there was a research study done that gyms actually have on the equipment more germs than a toilet seat. So have fun when you're working out if you're not cleaning and wiping down the equipment. But you got plenty of space that if you don't want to work out in a gym, you could bring all your workout equipment with you and work out in the wild. Maybe throw some logs around, chase after some wild bore. But you know what? I don't have time for that right now. And neither does Steven. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's hop in this 110S Defender and go for a spin. All right, guys, we are behind the wheel of this 2025 Land Rover Defender 110S. And right away, I love the seating position in this vehicle. You know, you got good visibility, lots of nice space up front, easy to get to the Pivy Pro system. You got your digital gauge cluster. And they do a really good job with the sound deadening material in here, even with the off-road spec tires and the cargo platform up top. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna slow down here, and then we're gonna go into our on throttle phase here. But let me make sure that I have everything set up the way I want it. Okay, if you're ready, I'm definitely ready. Why don't we go on throttle? On throttle, here we go. So obviously with the smaller displacement 4-cylinder turbo, you're not gonna get any kind of crazy acceleration that's gonna knock your socks off. So that is part of the deal with that, but it's got plenty of torque to navigate those off-road passes and trails. And then, like I said, the way that you have easy access to all of the modes, all the different settings, all those things are very easy to get to, all by the press of a button. So you can see here how I'm touching the screen, and that's allowing me to go into the different modes: grass, gravel. Everything is set up, even rock crawl. So everything is set up to where you have everything at your fingertips. The only thing this doesn't have is a sport mode, but I love the graphics that come up on the instrumentation. And the 4-cylinder doesn't sound too much like a 4-cylinder turbo, which is kind of good. And I'm glad they're not pumping in all this other sound to make it sound like a V8 or something. Definitely don't want that. But seating position is great. Side mirror size is awesome. And just the fact that you do have that ruggedness of the 4x4 system. You could shift manually with the shifter up and down the 8-speed automatic. And of course you can configure all the information exactly the way you want it on that 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. But these Defenders just drive really, really nicely. And this one, with the cool heritage look, really fits the part and the attitude of what this SUV is all about. Steering feels good. And if, like I said, if you're not really wanting tons of horsepower, this engine is the one to go with. Of course, they still have the straight 6, and you could even get the Octa, which is V8 powered. But really smooth, really comfortable. Let's see how accelerating to get into traffic and merge, not too shabby. Really rides and drives nicely. I mean, a lot nicer than the way a Bronco rides and drives, I know that. But, you know, there is that question mark about Land Rover reliability. I mean, that's another thing you got to take into consideration, right? But you do have your full warranty with this, so that should at least let you sleep a little bit more sound at night. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of this Land Rover Defender 110S. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, another fun day in so many ways here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. Definitely got to thank Miro and the rest of the crew getting us access to this special edition Defender 110S, the beach break 2. What I need to do is I need to find out where the heck is the beach brake 1. And if you're wondering where the beach is, it's that way. But definitely let me know in the comment section, what are your thoughts on this special edition Range Rover, or technically Land Rover, right? Land Rover Defender. Let me know if it's worth the price in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Race Wise family. Gotta get up to Stephen Flood. He's gonna be strapping his drum set to that because he's going to a drum circle, and he's actually their star drummer. So wish him luck on all of his adventures and heavy hitting. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.